In this life, depiction is key. I remember when I first started watching anime, it was kind of rare to see a black anime character within our favourite series. But after doing excessive algebra, I've come to the conclusion that whenever a black anime character did appear, they was always on that GOAT level shit. They always had that black Air Force energy. They had that, you think this is a Glock but I really attached a switch to this shit type of energy. Yo guys, it's your neighborhood samurai, Jay Unchained. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't been there before. Make sure you hit that bell notification too. Help your boy grow. I'm trying to become like the big dogs. Alright? As you see from the video title, we're going for the topic here of the 3 top tier goated black anime characters, because I feel like this topic is essential to the scene, especially if you're like me, a hood dude that enjoys anime. Yeah? So in no order, we're going to start with somebody slight, and that's Ogun from the anime Fire Force. Now before we get into why he's so badass, let's look into his name. In the Yoruba pantheon, right, that's Yoruba being the African tribe, Ogun is actually the god of war and iron. He embodies the essence of creativity as well as destruction. This indicates that Fire Force, the writers, did some research and they wanted to implement some African lore within their anime to symbolize the strength of one of their characters, as he is based off an African war god, which now makes sense because the way he's depicted within the Fire Force anime is of a humble beast, and that's shown he unleashes his full power fighting a demon Inferno in season 2 episode 9. His character truly is a GOAT tier type of character. He wields a lot of destructive power and is very apparent when he goes into rage mode. He also has like tribal tattoos all over his body which actually light up, and the more I look at it now, it actually makes sense. Like I said, they're paying homage, right, in their depiction of this character Ogun. Yeah, like I said, it's the depiction of an African war god with the same name actually. So you know where they're going with this, which I feel is beautiful, and it shows you there's more depth within these characters that meets the surface. Now on to our second GOAT. This one's a female. I'm pretty sure all of you are familiar with her. We have Casca from the anime Berserk, and although her past is an ambiguous mystery, it's plain to see that Casca is of black skin tone, and I feel like this is done purposely. Hear me out guys. Berserk is set within a time where females were rendered powerless due to how men viewed them within society. They wasn't meant to be warriors, but they were seen as wives, mothers, etc. But not Casca. She was the definition of a strong woman who demanded respect, and she gained this by being strong within combat, which was uncanny for females within that time. In addition, that time being a black person within a social ladder, she would have been seen as a lesser being. So the fact that she was still able to climb the ladder and gain respect by everyone within the Band of the Hawk, it indicates the obstacles that she had to overcome within her journey. And I think that's why she didn't accept Guts straight away, because she understood what it takes to actually get there. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't want to accept him and understand him for the fact that he was able to, climb the ladder so easily within the Band of the Hawk. You know what I'm trying to say? How he was able to rise up in position so easily in comparison to her. Casca's character is so complex and diverse, I can speak about it all day. If you want a separate video on her, please let me know. I want to dive deep. I'm going to call it a deep dive on Casca. That sounds a bit wrong, but we're going to do a deep dive on Casca, because Berserk is such a complex anime or manga that you can't just take whatever you see on the surface as what it is. You have to go into depth of each character and actually understand each character to gain a better understanding of the story. And I feel like Casca is a very complex character if you look deeper than the surface. Okay, now we're going on to our third and final goated black anime character, and I have to go with this one guys. There's no real deeper meaning behind it or anything. It's literally because of one thing. This character was like my first black person I really saw in an anime that I knew was an anime. This is Tosen from Bleach. Guys, one, he looks like a blood clot beast. He's badass. He's got the locks on his head. He was always cool, calm and collective. He was strong, you know what I'm saying? So you can't go wrong with him. The reason why I want to pick him over maybe some other characters that might be more in depth, or there might be a bigger reason behind the characters, was because Bleach was like my first anime that I really started. And I'm not saying it's the first anime I've ever watched, because I used to watch anime when I was young, but I didn't know it was anime, so it was the first anime I actually watched, and it was the first anime that I actually saw like a black person, and I thought to myself, okay, so this isn't a thing for just them, this is for everyone, this is for the culture, this is for the world, this is not something that's just submerged into a certain demographic of people, which I felt was beautiful, that they're incorporating different skin tones, characters, in their anime. You know what I'm trying to say? And they're making them a badass. That's key. That is key. If they're making them a beast and a badass, that is definitely key. So when I saw Tosin first show up in Bleach, I was like, God damn, you already done it now, because I already liked you, but now I like you even more. You get it? So guys, I feel like it was essential for them to put him in there, and I feel like he was a key person which allowed me to actually enjoy anime to its full capacity. I'm not trying to say, because like I said, it opened up my eyes to show me that, raw, this is something that everyone can watch, everyone can enjoy. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not segregated to like one demographic, it's for everybody, and I feel like that's beautiful. This is part 2. I've done a part 1, so make sure you go and check that out, of goated black anime characters. So guys, we're gonna jump start into our first candidate, which is Afro from the anime Afro Samurai. Now, what's there not to like about him? You got an epic, ruthless killer, yeah? That's got an afro in his head, yeah? Like I said, depiction is key. So when I was seeing this when I was younger, I was like, God damn, you know, how can I not like you? And in addition, you're a samurai. Like, I have a crazy obsession with like samurai swords, etc. So when I saw the two things collide, wow, you can be black and a samurai, I thought to myself, how can I not like and love you? And in addition to this, his character is a beast. You know, he's powerful, he's strong, you know, he's stoic, and he just got something about him that draws you closer into his character, because he's not just your average, I don't know, protagonist within a story. He's out for vengeance, he's out for that revenge, and I feel like it somewhat symbolizes, you know, us as people, you know, coming back for everything that was taken from us, in the sense of being once powerless and then knowing you had to grow, you know, and become stronger to defend yourself. His character is definitely captivating. Like I said, he's not your average samurai. He's got enhanced durability, he's got great hand-to-hand combat. Afro normally fights with his sword in one hand, but when facing stronger opponents or higher numbers, he'll use 2 hands for a stronger attack. He's got enhanced strength, he's fairly strong, able to cleanly slide through thugs and warriors quickly and effortlessly, you know, and pierce a person's throat with his sword sheath. That's how crazily strong he is. Like, he doesn't even need the blade itself. That indicates the level of skill he's at as a samurai within the series, you know. But he doesn't follow your traditional samurai, I don't know, rules, I would say. He's ruthless when he's fighting, he doesn't care, and he will cut down plenty and many. There's not much not to like about his character. Moving on swiftly, right, to our second contender, we have Kalik Rong from the anime Soul Eater, another classic, something else that I watched kind of during the time that I watched Afro Samurai. Okay, the reason why I feel like his character is definitely needed in this list is for this fact. You know, the creator or the writer of Soul Eater, yeah, he recognized that there was a few manga, or there was hardly any manga out there that had African characters within it. So he based Kalik Rong off a character from, I don't know, African folktale, you know, where the person had different elements, and that's what draws into his power. Kalik Rong has the power to control fire and lightning. Now guys, if that doesn't deserve a spot in this list, I don't know what is. The writer himself analyzed, yeah, and understood every assignment handed out to him. Not only did you base him on the African folktale, so there's some lore, yeah, you, in addition, you understood that what manga was missing was, you know, a diverse race card, and I feel like that's beautiful. Like, it's impossible to hate on a character like this when you know the reason why he was introduced within this anime or manga series. In addition, this character's badass. You know, he's one of the top performers within the Soul Eater anime. You know, his personality, I would say he's described as rather being hot-blooded and direct. He's a fiery soul, but he's also compassionate. You know, he will lay down his life for his friends, and I feel like they made him a great character within the series. He looks badass. He's got the cornrows and everything, you know. There's not much you can dislike about this character other than the fact that he wasn't shown enough. Moving on to our third and final contender for this video, yeah, we have Yoruichi from the anime Bleach. So they're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, because she's black and she's female, yeah, which is badass. And in Bleach, within Bleach, she is no push around, she is no scrub. You know, I remember when I first saw her, I thought, God damn, you pretty. You know, I thought, God damn, you pretty. So yeah, in addition, she's not weak. Yeah, she's a powerful character. She's female as well. You know, out of all the Soul Reapers, there's a lot of men, you know. So the fact that she's even able to become a captain, you know, within the Soul Society indicates and also depicts here the fact that her character is strong, and I feel like it somewhat references like a black woman, you know, that they're strong, they're powerful, and they're able to be resilient and get through things, you know, and I feel like it's beautiful. Once again, her character is no pushover, her character is no scrub, and for a long time within the Bleach series, she was like one of our main, I would say, side characters, which I feel like is great, you know, to give one, a black character that, but two, a female character that. And they show that men don't just like rule this whole thing, which I feel like is great that they placed her within the Bleach series like that. In addition, her character is very witty, she's smart, she knows a lot of history of Soul Society, and they compare her to Cat. Obviously she can shapeshift into a cat, etc., which I feel like indicates the fact that she can't really die. She got 9 lives, you know, and you know, our cats are that slender, they can get through anything. Yeah, a great and beautiful character, I won't lie. As I've said 100 times already, depiction is key. Growing up watching my favorite anime shows, whenever a black character was present, although rare, there was always some GOAT level shit. There was always that demon timing. They had that, you thought this was a normal Glock, but I got a switch attached to this bitch.
What you say about my mama? Huh?
I don't want to have trouble. Just go. Go home. Don't come back.
What you say about my mama? Break yourself!
No!
Yo guys, your boy Jay Unchained, and welcome back to my channel. This is part 3 of GOATed black anime characters. If you haven't been here before, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, and of course, like my shit. I'm trying to get like the big dogs, alright? Gliding back to the topic at hand, we're going to talk about some GOATed black anime characters that emit that black Air Force energy in a positive way or in a nasty way. And when I say nasty, I mean real nasty, no homo, alright? Okay, starting off with our first GOAT. We're going to talk about the beast Sharon from the anime Fire Force. Now this guy is just straight disrespectful. He's got no care for anyone else, you know, and he will literally stomp on you with no hesitation. He's the definition of a true GOAT, and he's definitely got that black Air Force energy, and it definitely matches his character completely. Like, look at him. This guy is literally tall, he's huge, he's very muscular, you know, with lightly colored hair. He literally wears a blindfold with some robes. This guy doesn't give a fuck about no drip or nothing. He only cares about the action, he only cares about the beef, he only cares about the fight. Literally, like, he don't even care about how he's looking at all. He's just hungry for that smoke that he's been dishing out constantly throughout the whole entire anime. Let's talk about some of his physical abilities. Sharon is an expert in hand-to-hand combat, capable of strong quick strikes, and he grabs using overwhelming strength and force, you know, because of his sturdy muscular frame. His attacks were powerful enough to destroy a human body with minimal effort and leave craters into the ground. His body is incredibly durable, being able to recover quickly from repeated blows and tremendous explosion, and withstand slashes from blades while showing no damage. He needs to lay off them protein shakes. He needs to lay off them steroids, I'll tell you that from right now. Yeah, but his character's crazy. His abilities allow him to absorb and accumulate kinetic energy into his body from any attack that hits him. He's able to transform this stored power into thermal energy to attack with. This allowed him to both create massive explosion and withstand strong attacks from others around him. Guys, he's the definition of a beast. He's almost like a gorilla. Like, he's just strong and overpowered, I would say. And I love the fact, yeah, that they done this to his character, you know. They was not sleeping when they made his character, I can't lie. And I won't lie, the whole Fire Force, you know, author, he definitely gives his black characters love. Moving on swiftly to our second GOAT, we got Simon from the anime Dororo. You know, he was born in Russia to American parents. His structure is tall and wide. The character has dark skin and brown eyes. While his size is normally seen as intimidating, he's actually an extremely gentle character. And I love that for him because I feel like his character, yeah, the way he's depicted shows that even though you could be tall, big, muscular, and people can be scared of you, right? It doesn't mean you have to really be that, you know, and you can still be gentle, respect those around you. You don't have to go around bullying people. And within the anime, he gives powerful speeches to each character, which you can actually use within your own life and take on board, which I feel like is great. So I would say his character is somewhat like a pacifist, as he's very gentle, friendly, and he often tries to stop fights or convince people to abandon their conflicts, you know, but he's still not one to play with. He's definitely one of the strongest people within the anime, right? He's got superhuman strength and power, and it's displayed throughout the anime constantly, although not in a crazy manner, but you definitely know there's power behind his character, which I feel like is brilliant, because it displays that you can still be strong and powerful, but still teach people to avoid beef, to avoid conflict, you know, and get on with life and not abuse what God has blessed you with. Now for our final GOAT of this video, we have Muhammad Abdul from the anime JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and he's one of the main protagonists in that season, which is Stardust Crusaders. Now, he is black and he's of Egyptian nationality, right? His personality is very serious. He comes across as responsible, and overall, he's a righteous individual. Abdul possesses a strong sense of duty and loyalty. He's highly dedicated to slaying the antagonist Dio, and is one of the two first members of the party. His character, like I said, is calm, collected. He doesn't like to boast, even though he is very strong and he has the stand ability, you know, the humanoid stand called Magician's Red, and he's able to generate exceedingly powerful yet finely controlled flames. Different from the fire in nature, the flames are literally flowing differently than it would in nature, for example, and his flames obey Abdul's own will. Abdul was born with this stand. He learned to control his power, having full control of it. Abdul's stand represents the first tarot card, the Magician, symbolizing the beginning of something. They say within the anime, when the world was first, started, it was covered in flame, or shrouded within flames. So they say his stand symbolizes the beginning of the world. Keeping up this idea of the beginning thing, Abdul is shown to be the first character to do many things. He's the first character to properly use a stand and get into a fight, and the first to encounter Dio, and the first to throw himself in danger to save someone. So his character is definitely a respectable character within the anime, and he's not to be played around with. You know, he's not just a side character they're just thrown to the side. They've actually given him various different plots within the anime, various different powers. They've made him a respectable character within the anime, and like I said, he's in Egypt, you know, which there's a lot of black people, etc. And I feel like they've made his character great. You can't deny his character within the anime, and he's easily not forgotten. He's not like a forgettable character. I remember it, and I've watched JoJo's years back, so that indicates that his character wasn't just some side character, and he was definitely giving out the hands and spreading cheeks. Pause.
Hey, stop. Hey, hold up. Hey.
The globalization of anime and the current community that we've built, we're seeing a lot of various races within our favorite anime shows, one of them being black people. This is a beautiful thing. Guys, this is your boy Jay Unchained, and I'm bringing you another episode of Blacked But Anime. And I would just have to put out there, if you know what I mean by that title, you're a dirty motherfucker. Alright? Today we're going to be talking about an anime character that might just put inches on your wife. No Diddy. Guys, he might just Jason love your wife, the same thing that happened at Adam 22 and all of that shebang. Guys, this character isn't joke. Today we're going to be talking about Isaac from the anime Castlevania. You can check it out on Netflix. Now this character is a force. And when I say a force, I mean a force to be reckoned with. He is not a joke, and he's a primary example of beastly black characters, right? And you know when a black character's got a bald head, he means business. Like, it just reminds you of Morpheus from Matrix. So let's talk about Isaac. So Isaac, right, you could say his character is a bit complicated within the series, right? His status as a character, or shall I say his role within the story, fluctuates and changes constantly to the point where you don't know if he's on our side, on their side, or on his own side. And that's a beautiful thing. So let's speak about his character. So Isaac is a forge master under Dracula's orders, right? Years ago as a slave, he was viciously lashed by his master, who discovered him going through his books, despite Isaac doing so in an attempt to help him. This drove Isaac to his breaking point, because he was literally being treated like a slave, like constantly, day in, day out. This drove Isaac to his breaking point, yeah? And in a fit of rage, he killed the man. The hardships that Isaac had to go through during his childhood is what made him hate all of humanity. So he had a constant grudge against the whole entire human race, right? While Isaac had a very difficult childhood and was severely mistreated, and I mean severely, right? He managed to travel across much of Africa and the Middle East as a child and learned magic through renegade cultist books, right? And this is where he's learned to be a forge master for the series. And I don't want to get too much into what a forge master is. You lot definitely got to watch it yourself, but I don't want to give it away, right? But I'm just letting you know, this man will put a hammer to your backside, literally. For example, he can control the flow of magic, right? Also, he does necromancy, so he can bring back monsters to turn the dead. He can bring back demons from the dead, life from the dead. Yeah, Isaac can bring creatures back to life from the dead. And unlike how Hector performs resurrection, the corpses that Isaac manipulates scream in pain while being revived, and they change. You know, so he's not giving no mercy to nothing. Like, his whole character, I'm not gonna say his whole power in itself, right, is a reflection of his childhood, of his past, of the life that he's lived. You know, it's a thing of constant agony, constant pain. you know. In addition, he's also got devil forging. You're gonna say devil forging. Well, what is devil forging? Well, devil forging is the power, right, to create night creatures from corpses that do every and anything that he asks. His total bidding. These creatures are real strong, they're real powerful, and like I said, they're just disgusting looking, they're evil, everything you can think of that you don't want to come in front of you. That's what these creatures are, and he creates them, and he's the leader of them, and he walks around with an army of them, literally. In addition, some of the skills he has is expert combat abilities. You know, he's a superb fighting skill. He's able to kill bandits like instantly with his dagger. Like, he's not someone, yeah, to be fucked with. Literally, this character is not a joke, right? He's got knife mastery. Like, his total character, right, is very loyal, very self-serving, but he also doesn't mind to serve his master and complete his goals, complete Dracula's goals, right? But his character doesn't need anybody. He's been alone since he was young. He's been alone his entire life. And the agony and pain that he's been through, yeah, he literally inflicts that onto his opponents, onto anyone that opposes him. And I feel like his character, yeah, is a reflection of all the torment that he's been through when he was a child, when he was young. And he just channels that power and that misery into his fighting style. So anytime he does get into hand-to-hand combat or any sort of combat, he's on a thing of he's trying to overpower his opponent constantly. It's not about wits and being smart, although he is. It's about completely overpowering his opponent, completely shattering them and kill them instantly. This guy is not something to be played with, right? He might just take your wife, he might just take your girl, shit, he might just take you. No, did he? Yeah, guys, this guy is not something to be played with, yeah. And I feel like everyone should dive into his character further. When you're an anime lover like me, depiction is definitely key. To see black anime characters within some of our favorite animes is greatly warming to the heart. And obviously, it's Black History Month, so we've got to talk about some epic, goated samurai, black samurai characters, right? That are the straight beasts, that are epic and have epic history behind them. Guys, this is your boy Jay Unchained. If you haven't been there before, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, show your boy some love. I'm trying to get at the big dogs, alright? Okay, so let's slide back into this topic. So let's talk about some epic samurai characters. So starting off with our first black anime character, we got Yasuke, yeah, which is the first black samurai. So let's go through some of his history. Now, although he's only an anime character, he's actually based on a real person, right? So Yasuke is based on a real samurai. Yasuke's origin is black African, right? And he served as a retainer under Nobunaga order. And he's believed to be the first African that Nobunaga has ever seen. So that in itself is powerful and complex because it indicates where Japan was at in that time. Nobunaga initially thought he was completely tattered, so he asked him to strip his clothes down, in which they realized he was actually black. And within this realization, Nobunaga Oda took an interest in Yasuke, and he actually fought under Nobunaga in many battles. And that is powerful, you know, because it actually kind of showed that Nobunaga didn't really discriminate him based on his color of his skin or the fact that he was different, but he respected him as a man and based on his skill as a samurai, which leads us onto his personality. Yasuke is a kind and self-reserved man who believes strongly in his own principle. He was ready to risk his life by saving the child, and disarming the child's opponent, right, without a weapon, which initially got Nobunaga interested in him, his character, and obviously his ideologies, which was to protect the people that are weaker than him, e.g. children. Now that just shows you how powerful this character was, because even in a place here that he didn't have any control of, he had no power of, he still followed his own principles, his own powers. And I feel like that's black people at all times. We do what's right, yeah, we follow our own principles, and we have to stick together, right, and progress through this thing called life, because it's not easy. So by him following his own path, it put him in a position right under, the greatest man in the country at the time, which is Oda Nobunaga. Now in the anime, yeah, his appearance still stays true. Yasuke is tall, well built. I would say he's a middle-aged man, and he's of the Yao people, and they have locks and large facial hair. So they stay true to the way his character looks, and the origin of black people in general. Later on down in the anime, he does cut his hair and put it in a ponytail, and he does obviously trim up based on the fact that he's now a samurai that's appointed under Oda Nobunaga. But he still stays true, to his African origin, and he still keeps, many of his features that make him unique, especially within that time. So guys, this is an anime that you lot should definitely check out, especially if you're into samurais in general like me. Yeah, the artwork's great, they got some great fight scenes. I do feel like some of the animation could be better, they could have gave it more justice and it would have blew up further, but I have to appreciate it for what they've done. Like I said, there's not a lot of all black anime out there, so I appreciate it. Sliding on to our second goat of this video, the second samurai, and you lot probably know who I'm about to bring up, is Afro Samurai, guys. The goat himself, you know, he got that afro, that bushy hair. He's a straight beast, you know. He's voiced by Samuel L. Jackson, and you can't go wrong with Samuel L. Jackson because he's for the people. And I feel like the Afro Samurai anime is just epic in general. Like when I was younger watching anime, like I said, depiction is key, and seeing someone that looks like me on my TV screen and I don't know, anime showing it love, I had to appreciate it for what it was, because I was someone that was heavily into samurai everything. If you was a samurai or you was a ninja, I was involved. You know what I'm trying to say? So to see Afro Samurai, yeah, put in that work and have his own TV show and be the main character, and he's got a big afro on his head, he's the same color as me, right? I had to appreciate it, yeah, what he was doing with his character. And he's voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. Come on, guys. You know, and not only that, he's not no scrub. He's powerful, he's beautiful, he's got ability, he's skillful, you know, and the animation is just crazy. To this day, yeah, the Afro Samurai anime and the movies, etc., still hold its weight in the anime community. And if you haven't watched Afro Samurai, you definitely need to check it out ASAP. I mean, today, check it out. You know what I'm trying to say? It's got great fight scenes, beautiful characters, crazy characters, beautiful animation. And like I said, I don't want to dive too much into the Afro Samurai. You know what I'm saying? Because most people know about this anime. Yeah, you can't not. If you're a real anime watcher, you have to watch Afro Samurai. So guys, this is your boy Jay Unchained. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, it's Black History Month. Yeah, and we got to appreciate our people. You know what I'm saying? And appreciate the anime that's been put out with our peoples that's been depicted, you know. And I've got a whole series of powerful black anime characters, goaty black anime characters, which I will link below. Make sure you go and check that out. This is your boy Jay Unchained. This one's short and sweet because, like I said, I've been through most of these characters actually already, but I've been doing this, you know, I've been doing it for the people. So guys, make sure you subscribe, show your boy some love, and I'm locking out. Peace.